Have you done programs like P90X, realize they suck, and you want to progress? Watch this.
Our next caller is Stephanie from Washington.
Hi, Stephanie. How can we help you?
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on and taking my question today. I'll jump right into it. I've been working out on and off for the past 10 years or so. I admit I got drawn into it with P90X back in the day. Over the last 2 years or so, I've really taken my resistance training to another level. I've been focusing on improving my strength and muscle growth, plus consistency and discipline. I lift about 3 to 4 days a week for about 30 to 40 minutes total. I'm 46, 160 pounds, and basically my goal is to become the best, fittest version of myself, however long that takes. And that's how I discovered your podcast. It's been a game changer for me on how I understand resistance training, fat loss, and changing my body composition. So overall, even though I've been working out for a long time, I consider myself a newbie because of the information I've taken away from your podcast. So thank you so much for that. So anyway, I work out from home with dumbbells and a bench, occasionally some bands, but here's my dilemma. I have a long history of working out as a follow-along to full-length workouts using DVDs, subscriptions, streaming programs, apps, etc. For the past few months, I've really tried to do workouts on my own without having to follow along with the trainer, but I get really demotivated. I rush through it. My form suffers, my timing is off, and I haven't been able to stick with it. I go back to following along to a video, but I know 100% the programming in these videos isn't going to get me to my goals. I have 100% trust in the MAPS programming, but I can't seem to get myself to do it on my own. So I need your advice on how to break this dependency.
Yeah, it's going to be one small step at a time. So do you have any of our MAPS programs?
I bought the MAPS starter bundle and MAPS 15 during your sale last month.
Okay. Starter has the follow-on, doesn't it?
Yeah, I believe Starter does have a follow-along video in it that you could try watching. Did you try that? Is it too much?
No, I went straight to anabolic. I didn't actually go through everything.
Okay.
Because I bought it to get anabolic.
Now, when you do MAPS anabolic, or when you try and you watch the video demos of the exercises, is that not doing it for you?
It works to get my form correct, but as I'm going through the program step by step and following along with the sheets and the tracker, not so much. I still have this mental blockage that I'm trying to figure out how to do it on a consistent basis. Like if I try it one day, it might work out, but then, I just have this blocker of doing everything on my own, even if I put on music or, something else to watch while I'm working out. It just isn't the way that I've just had a long history of just following along and having, I guess, a little bit of quote unquote social support, even though it's just a trainer I've never met, streaming to me through my television. So that's where I'm just trying to figure out what is the best way, or any other tips or a program that will really help me be more self-sufficient and be able to follow along and, be able to continue to work out at home and not go back to those videos that have programming that I know isn't going to help me long-term.
Yeah, I know you've been following these at home, and you've been also going through the previous with P90X. They have somebody kind of directing you from the TV screen. Have you ever worked with somebody actually in person?
No, I'm not quite like a gym type person. I mean, it's crossed my mind. So apparently I have more blockers than I probably should.
I totally get that. I think though, in terms of your situation and realizing, so one thing that they can do is kind of structure all that for you. So you can kind of figure out how the flow of the workouts will go, from back to back, the rest periods, all that kind of stuff. They can kind of walk you through that physically. I think just doing that would bring value in terms of then that translating towards how you read these workout sheets, and then you can kind of watch the videos to get a sense of what you're trying to accomplish with those exercises, but to actually have somebody there just kind of cueing and allowing another set of eyes to be able to guide you. I think it'd bring a lot more confidence in what you're doing.
How difficult are the rest periods for you when you have to rest for 2 or 3 minutes between exercises?
Yeah, they're not difficult. I set when I've done them, I set a timer so I'm accurate.
Good.
I like with the follow along videos, the rest periods are kind of built in, even though the trainer is chatting, but you know that they're chatting because it's the rest period. Whereas when I do the rest period on my own, I set a timer and I'm trying to be vigilant with sticking to the way the program is designed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not having any trouble, overexerting myself or not having a long enough rest period or short enough rest period. But I do have to set the timer for it.
So the other thing that I would suggest, so one, I think getting you access to our private forum if you're not in there already, so you have a community and there are other people that are kind of going through the same stuff. And even if you don't get a personal trainer in person, although I would always recommend that as the best, a virtual coach for just the accountability piece that you are checking in with on a weekly basis.
Yeah, there's trainers that'll come to your house too. So you don't have to go to a gym. But have you tried? How consistent are you with our podcast? Do you watch us on YouTube or do you listen to us on podcast?
I listen on the podcast and I check in on all the topics, and then I will listen to the ones that interest me for the most part. But I check every episode, but I don't. But I'm pretty, with my timing. I listen to your podcast while I'm out doing my walking.
So we have a lot of people that actually listen to us or watch us while they work out. And it serves as almost like a motivation. Yeah. So they'll play us. Like we get a lot of people that tag us on social media when they're watching our videos, our podcast. And I would say like 30% of them, it's in their gym TV, like their home gym TV. So they'll have us in the background while they're working out. And because it's fitness related, it's, kind of helps them stay motivated type of deal. It's all in the same kind of space. That's another thing you could try. Is you can follow.
I like that idea.
I was gonna say you can follow one of our programs and then you can hear us talking in the background, pretend like we're talking to you. And
that's like an easy first step. I mean, because it keeps you motivated because it's your programming and the topics are relevant to me. And there's plenty of podcasts for me to go through that I will have no shortage of
Plus, it helps our downloads, so it's a win-win for everybody.
Exactly. No, and then I would combine that with the forum. So I'll have Doug give you access to our private forum, and so then you have access to us also. So you can check in with us on a weekly basis, letting us know how things are going or if you're having any challenges. So the combination of those two things, I think, would be a really good place to start.
Totally.
Yeah. No, that's great. I mean, it's kind of like the lack of social support that probably is where the videos come in handy for me.
Of course.
Even if they're strangers. Yeah. And no vested interest in my success. But at the same time, it does have a component to my workout that is important to me. So
you're going to love the private forum. The forum is an incredible community.
Yeah. And Stephanie, you're on this journey, and where you're at is very common for a lot of people. As long as you stay consistent and you really prioritize this, you're going to get through this kind of roadblock of feeling like, I'm going to transition into this other phase of training. But once you get past it, which you will, if you're consistent, then it's like a whole nother growth period. And then you'll run into another block because this is a journey and you're going to your entire life. But this is a very common one that I've heard from people. So
that's good to know, because I listen to the podcast and I hear people going through all your programs and I'm like, how do they do this? How do they succeed in all these programs on their own? And I'm like, I need to be these people. I need to know how this gets done.
You're more common. You're actually more common. When I would train clients, more people were like you than people who would say that they work out too much or follow all our programs. So
is that Yosemite National Park on your shirt? Is that
no?
It looks like Half Dome from here.
It does.
It's a North Face brand bear that's intertwined into a nature scene.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Half Dome.
All right.
Does that look like Half Dome?
It looks like
very
Half Dome.
possibly could be.
Yeah, I think that's Half Dome for sure.
Yeah, that looks, and there's trees there too. I can see green. Anyway, thank you.
Very observant.
All right, Steph, we're going to see you we'll see you in the forum. Make sure you say hi.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you again for taking my question. This has been really helpful. So I appreciate your help, and I feel less alone now. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
We're
Stephanie.
right there with you.
Thank you. One of the downsides of doing the podcast is we have so many people that listen to stuff. Like every time I talk to someone, I want to help you.
Yeah.
I can't help everybody the same way that I used to. It kind of sucks.
Just want to take them in.
Yeah. But I think I'm glad the suggestion of listening to the show while she worked out resonated. We have a lot of people that do that.
That's true.
that listen to the show while they work out, and that's the time that they save for the podcast. So, I mean, it wouldn't be for me. I like music in the background. I wouldn't be able to work out to you guys talking. But
it kind of brings in a bit of a social element to it, which
Sure,
I think
I get it.
does kind of people feel like a little bit of accountability, and they feel a little more empowered.
I think it's the accountability. That's what people have told me. It's just when they're listening to their podcast, it's like they're we're
Keeps them
their
consistent.
coaches.
Yep.
And so it makes them feel that they need to stay on their workouts, which is a bad thing for us for downloads.
And they're still learning.
Since people are inconsistent with workouts. Our downloads to do that.
that's the real reason why we're trying to get you consistent.
Oh well.